Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin, and this segment is sponsored by TravelSpan Vacations. Nurses were put on alert by Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan yesterday for the deadly Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus amid growing fears globally of a pandemic. Khan used his feature address at the opening ceremony for the 40th annual general meeting of the regional nursing body at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad Hotel, Port of Spain, to send out a warning about the virus. And I quote, "I want to ask the nursing body to put this virus on its front burner. Do all your research on it. The mortality rate is high, about 50%. That's 1 in 2 persons." Since most of the cases of the MERS-CoV have been in Saudi Arabia, there are concerns about the spread of the disease around the world, given the estimated 3 million people who are expected to travel to Mecca in October for the Hajj pilgrimage. The MERS-CoV is considered to be deadlier than SARS, the severe acute respiratory syndrome, which killed 1 in 10 people. The virus, which originated in the Middle East, is spread from person to person or person to animal and can be passed on when an affected person sneezes or coughs. Other symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. There is as yet no treatment for MERS-CoV. However, a vaccine is said to be in development. Khan also expressed his concern about the stress nurses face while carrying out their duties. He said nurses have their own personal challenges and still have to extend empathy in the midst of all that they deal with at home and at work on a daily basis. As such, the ministry wants to establish an employee assistance program that would assist nurses in this area. Also before Khan is the amendment to the Nurses and Midwives Act, which the minister hopes would increase the ability and responsibility of nurses to do more in the primary healthcare system, particularly in the absence of a doctor. Khan also proposed $5 million in next year's budget to produce research papers on issues in the health sector. The research papers will be accessible to medical and pharmacy students and anyone else in the health sector. The audit was undertaken by the university's internal audit department and highlighted not only financial infractions on the part of elected president of the UGSS, Ganesh Mahipal, but other members as well. Mahipal, according to the report, had repaid a sum amounting to in excess of $1 million. The report outlines that the UGSS, at its Executive Council meeting on April 27th, had identified the amount of over $1 million as monies misappropriated by Mahipal. An agreement was signed on May 14 between the UGSS Secretary Adele Lilly and Mahipal, indicating that the entire sum must be repaid by May 31st. The inked agreement was witnessed by Assistant Registrar Daniela King and UG Internal Auditor Quincy Bourne. It was outlined that on May 30th, Mahipal presented the Audit Department with a printout of the UGSS Republic Bank Limited bank account showing a deposit of the amount owed. A telephone call to the bank on June 11th confirmed that the said amount was deposited from the Anna Regina branch. However, according to the audit report, the contract of May 14th also provided for the repayment of additional sums, which were determined by the audit process. As such, it was observed that Mahipal is required to pay an additional $125,720 and perhaps a further $265,000, depending on the submission of receipts and return of computer equipment. Mahipal had reportedly removed the equipment and is therefore required to return same in no less favorable state as when removed from the UGSS office, states the report. In light of the discovery that Mahipal has grossly misconducted himself as a member of the Student Society and as president, the UGSS Executive Council, in a correspondence dated June 24th, revealed that a no-confidence motion was moved against him. The missive, which was seen by this publication, states, and I quote, "In accordance with the constitutional provision of Article 20, the Executive Council has passed a resolution via a unanimous vote of no confidence against you from further performing duties as President of UGSS by suspending you for the remaining part of the second semester of the academic year from 2012 to 2013. End of quote. Speaker of the House of Assembly, Alex Boyd Knight, Tuesday called on members of the House of Assembly to pay more attention to and obey the rules of the House. Mrs. Boyd made that appeal following an incident on Monday afternoon in which an opposition parliamentarian was escorted out of the House sitting. Member of Parliament for the Roseau Central constituency, Norris Prevost, attended the House sitting clad in a purple long-sleeve shirt. Mrs. Knight announced that the House would be suspended for 10 minutes to allow Mr. Prevost to change his attire. However, Mr. Prevost refused and had to be escorted outside by the Sergeant at Arms. On Tuesday, before the 2013 to 2014 budget debate continued, Mrs. Knight remarked that the National Dress Act spells out that acceptable attire for the Parliament. And I quote, "It is an act that came into being in 1971, and what is more, this act spells out what is the attire to be worn to this House, so that since 1971, this act has been acted upon by speakers," Mrs. Knight said. The act interprets conventional colors to mean plain and simple hues such as brown, black, and gray, white, blue, green, or yellow for shirt jackets, and brown, black, gray, white, or blue for trousers, but shall not in either case include any bright, two-tone, gaudy, or variegated material. The Constitutional Court has ruled that the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, has the power under common law as well as the INDECOM Act to arrest members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The application questioning INDECOM's powers was brought by several police groups, including the Jamaica Police Federation, the Police Officers Association, and the United District Constables Association against INDECOM, the Attorney General's Department, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The application was filed after INDECOM investigators arrested and charged Corporal Malika Reed with the murder of Negril businessman Frederick Mickey Hill in November 2010. In their ruling handed down yesterday, Justices Horace Marsh, Lennox Campbell, and David Fraser said, and I quote, "The powers of the INDECOM Commissioner and his investigators in no way dilute the DPP's constitutional authority to continue, take over, or discontinue any prosecution." They also said there is no requirement for prior ruling by the DPP before members of the police force can be arrested and charged by INDECOM and its investigators. INDECOM was established by the Parliament in 2010 to investigate allegations of misconduct by members of the security force. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. Stay tuned.
Hey, excuse me, if you see me smiling, that's 'cause I'm chilling on Total Caribbean Network. It's your boy Wyclef Jean, man, and I'm chillin', man. Total Caribbean Network. Man, I love their style. Whoa, 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 whoa.